Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is your captain speaking here on CapnclydesMTG. And today, well, let's talk about Aetherdrift. The new set's coming out. Spoilers getting ready to start. You probably should pre-game and buy a few cards that are already made out there in the world, in the wild, if you will, to, let's say, butter up your decks before Aetherdrift comes out, which will probably cause a lot of card spikes. So before we get started, don't forget, comment, like, subscribe, hit that button. Links are down below. You guys know where they are. Hit them up and let's go. So got a few cards to talk about. It's going to be a fun time, so let's speculate. So one of the cards I think you guys should probably be picking up if you ain't already got one for the new decks that will be spawning, we'll say, with the list and reveals coming out from Aetherdrift is Gree Fang. If you've not played the Gree Fang, you don't know what joy is, or misery, take your pick. Black, white, and 1 for a 4/3 beginning combat on your turn. You get to return a vehicle card from your graveyard to the battlefield. It gains haste, return to the hand at the beginning of your next end step. This card was a whole standard deck all by itself, where you literally just threw stuff in your graveyard that were just big, nappy vehicles. Like the one it makes, like, I forget what it's called, but it was a giant thing. It's like 6/6. When it attacks, it makes 2 4/4 angels that never go away. And you put this in play, you jerk that thing out of your graveyard, you crew it with this, it has haste, you swing, you have 2 4/4 angels, and life is good. And let's just say, in a, we'll call a plane of possibilities, when Aetherdrift's going to be all about vehicles and energy, this is definitely somebody you want on the bench. So if you ain't got him yet, you better go find one. He's going to get pricey. Next, we have the Herd Whisperer. So this is a uncommon, still relatively cheap, but a good pickup. White-green for a 3/2. As long as it's your turn, mounts and vehicles, key there, have hexproof. And whenever a mount or vehicle you control attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it. This time, I believe this card will shine way more with Aetherdrift than it ever did in Thunder Junction with mounts and the older sets. This feels like this card's time has arrived. And if you don't have one, you better grab a couple. This might be a $5 uncommon before you know it. Moving on, we have Edward Kinway for all you Commander players out there. Red, black, blue, and 2 5-mana 5/5 could be your Commander. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each tapped assassin, pirate, and or vehicle you control. Whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Kind of like a big, beefy Ragavan, I guess. But also, I mean, throw some vehicles on the battlefield, tap them, all of a sudden, poof, look at all the mana I got. From treasure tokens, that is. It could be cool. Next, we have Mech Hanger. So this doozy from back in the day, back in my day, it's just not that. It's not that old. It's just from Neon Dynasty. It taps for colorless, which is fine. Doesn't come into play on tap. It doesn't come into play tapped or anything. Add a mana of any color to cast a pilot or vehicle spell. Now, not some vehicles. Let's be honest here. Some of the vehicles are colored. We've already seen that. So this means you can cast them. It's basically a dual land. And for 3 colorless and tapping it, the vehicle becomes an artifact creature in a turn. You don't need a creature to crew your vehicles. Land's a lot harder to deal with. And it's not legendary. You can run 4 of them in your decks. I mean, unless it's commanders, you get 1. But you get my point. And, yeah, this might be something you want to pick a couple up. Just saying. Next, we have good old SRAM, the Senior Edificer. This Dwarf Advisor from back in my day. For a white and 1 is a 2/2. Whenever an aura, equipment, or vehicle spell gets cast, you get to draw a card. So with Aetherdrift coming out, and I know how you Commander players love to brew new decks with new stuff. It's probably time to gather up your artifact cards and those Commander cards that have artifact synergies, like old Srammy Boy here, and get ready to build you a deck, because it's probably going to be pretty hot, I'm not going to lie. Also coming in, we have the Exuberant Shepherd, the goodest of boys. White and 1 for a 2/2 has flash. This can protect your stuff, but also 2 mana 2/2, very nice. Can crew most things, but also you exile 1 target non-land permanent at the beginning of your end step. Return that card to the battlefield under your control. If it entered under your control, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on the goodest of boys, meaning it will probably be a 3/3. Also meaning that if your artifacts, i.e. vehicles or what have you, have enter the battlefield triggers, they're going to happen twice. If you guys don't know about the boat, the 6/5, that when it comes in, you get to bolt something. Yeah, imagine using this thing and blinking it. So, yeah. And it also says when it attacks, you get to do it. So, you know, like, blinking your boat every turn, or whatever other weird artifact that has a come into play effect that you want to abuse. So, yeah, this could be really cool in a deck like that. And then, of course, we have this, we'll say, diamond in the rough. The enthusiastic Mechanaut. Red, blue, and for a 2/2 that flies, artifact spells cost 1 less to cast. So, in case you didn't know, all the vehicles are artifacts, even the colored ones. So, yeah, this guy can become really good, really fast for your whole deck. Next, we have Jan Jensen, the Chaos Crafter. Black, white, and a red for a 3/3. Best thing about old Janny boy here, he's got haste. Tap, sacrifice an artifact creature, you get 2 treasure tokens. Sacrifice a non-creature artifact, get 2 1/1 colorless construct artifacts. So, if you have a way to tap and untap him, you can just get the shenanigans going and make infinite everything. Also, if someone tries to kill your stuff, you can just tap old Janny boy here and transform it into something else right out from under it. And let's not be too coy in the fact that every vehicle is an artifact. That is not a creature until you crew it. So being able to make 1/1s that can help crew your creatures is also good, but also you can pick whether you want to make 2 treasures or 2 1/1s out of your artifact by either crewing it or not. Kind of seems good. Next, let's not forget Dockside Extortion. Oh, wait, this card's banned. Too soon? A little bit of salt there for you, Commander players. I love you guys. Anyway, moving on. So next we have Emery, Lurker, and Lock. This card's still relatively cheap for blue and 2. It's a 1/2. This spell costs 1 less for each artifact, so the more vehicles you throw on the battlefield, the cheaper she is. You know, I've dated girls like that. You know, the more cars in the parking lot, the easier it is to get her to come out. Anyway, when Emery, Lurker, and Lock enters the battlefield, you get to mill top 4 cards of your library into your graveyard. And this card has the ability to let you tap, choose one of those cards that's an artifact, and play it. So you can mill the best of your cards into your graveyard and then just put them on the battlefield. I mean, it's a whole deck by itself, right? So also, Dr. Madison Lee, been flying under the radar, and I think people need to start paying attention because it's getting pricey. White, red, and blue. America! Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get an energy. Let's also stress that we know energy is going to be a thing in Aetherdrift. We've seen a commander deck already. So not only is it artifact synergy, but energy synergy. Tap, pay an energy, creature gets +1/+0, gains trample and haste. Tap, pay 3 energy, draw a card. That could be really abusive in this set for commander. And tap, pay 5 energy, return target artifact card from the graveyard to the battlefield. The battlefield. I am positive there is going to be some monstrosity artifact in this set that Dr. Madison is going to schoolboy somebody on by going tap Mwahaha! Make monstrosity! So yeah, if you haven't got her yet, you probably ought to go pick up a little scientist or two, if you will, for those commander decks. Also, we have Sagh, Master Thopterist. How could we forget? Yes, I chose the sweet anime art, and you should too when you pick one up. Blue and 2 for this 1/4. Whenever you cast an artifact spell, you get a 1/1 Colorless Thopter that flies. And for a blue and 1, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card. I mean, if you're playing Commander anyway, and you're playing vehicles and artifacts and everything else under God's green earth, why would you not play Sagh? I mean, come on. I mean, he's just the man. Why would you not play the man? So yeah, with that said, guys, there you have it. Some cards you probably should be looking into picking up while they're still relatively cheap. Most of them are pennies on the dollar. For those commander decks you're going to want to build with the new Aetherdrift set that comes out full of artifacts. So, until next time, be kind, and as always, I hope to see you across from the game table. I hope to God there's a card in Aetherdrift called Parking Lot. It needs to have a land. I don't care what the fuck it is. It just needs to be a parking lot.